okay that I'm sitting like this? Okay.
Like, can you really tell that he's... What were you? There's no way.
I'm playing. I cannot tell.
I was about to say, is that like a gift?
No, but hey, a lot of times it's a gift that I can recognize different kind of Hispanics. I do know the difference into like Mexicans, Salvadorians, like Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. I kind of can recognize who's like, because most people just think everybody's Mexican. You know how many times I've been asked if I'm Mexican?
10?
Or asked me, no, hold on.
Oh, I thought you really wanted a number. I was like,
nope,
10.
Nope.
No.
Or if I have like a green card.
Really?
Yeah. Euler asked me for a green card.
Euler did. Great job, Euler.
The college. I'm like, I'm from Puerto Rico. So were you born here in the United States? Well, it is part of the United States. It's not the continental United States.
So I can't even say Puerto Rico like you do. That's like crazy.
Puerto Rico, yes, you can. Go there.
What's that? I can't roll my R's like that.
Puerto Rico.
Ah, that's not happening.
Puerto.
We rolling? Awesome. Hey, welcome to the show.
Oh, well, hey.
Francis Hernandez. Glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
Are you excited now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've known each other for how long?
I would say like maybe 4 years.
4 years, something like that.
3 or 4
Yeah.
years,
When did you come to the unit?
It was 2016. At the end of 2016.
Yeah.
Like November.
Yeah, exactly. How do we meet?
So you were having some kind of, I want to use the right word, but I think it was kind of some kind of fat camp, and you were being...
Well, did we meet during that?
Yes.
When I was hosting the PRTE?
Yes. And you say something smart to me, some smart ass comment about like fighting, and because I wanted to fight one of your people. I was just trying to show you some stuff.
No, what she did was she wanted to like fight the
kids, not
yeah,
you.
the kids. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. You wanted to be a bully. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know how to pick my fights.
Right. Yeah. Oh, how long you been in military?
13 years.
13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. 13 years, you're still bullying kids.
Hey.
That really warms my heart. It really does.
That's you need to pick a trade, something you're good at, and that's where you go. So I'm good at bullying. I'm just playing. I'm not.
Oh man. So MMA Fighter, recruiter.
Yes.
25 Bravo, which is Signal.
Yes.
Computer nerds.
Computer nerds.
Do I want to say that word? I can't really use it because if something breaks on my computer,
exactly. You will call me. No, you call me before. So
Have I called you before?
Well, I know all the 11 Bravos did, so I'm just classifying you there.
Just group me in there. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. So we've already established that you are from
Puerto Rico.
Yes. See, I can't even pull that off.
Yes, you can. I'm sure you can.
We'll do it off screen.
Okay.
So tell me about that. I've never been there. I've been around a lot of people who were stationed there, but I've never been there. What was that?
Well, Puerto Rico, first of all, it's amazing.
Really?
Weather, it's good all year round. It doesn't get colder than, I would say, lower than 60. And normally when it's 100 degrees, it still has a breeze to it. So it's not like you're in Arkansas, you're melting away breeze. It's a little bit more like refreshing than that. So even coming over here was a big change. So other than that, you have the beach. It's everywhere. Culture, it's different in the sense of like, my family, it's very, well, maybe it's different because I'm here, but, I'm very close to my family, and just the culture in the sense of like, very, very touchy feeling, a lot of like, I meet you today, tomorrow I'm hugging you and kissing you next time I'm seeing you, And here, it's not very much like that unless you know somebody for a long time.
Really?
I got my couple of times people were like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry, trying to hug you.
Nice. So family is like a big center point. Is this still a big center point in your life?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Nice.
I talk to my family every single day.
Nice. I see your posts on Facebook, and it's always like super family. So childhood. So I'm sure there's a little bit of a difference from childhood here as opposed to childhood in Puerto Rico. I'm sure it's a lot like the Fast and the Furious movies. That's how I see it. Wasn't one of them in Puerto Rico?
No. Yeah, well, it was filmed. It was filmed in Puerto Rico. Hey. One of them, yeah.
Were you in it?
No.
Oh,
no. Sorry. I missed that.
Yeah. So what was your childhood like?
You know what? I really had an amazing childhood. My parents were from a small town in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
It's called Camuy.
Hmm.
And pretty much, I guess it sounds a little bit like a story in the sense of like, my mom lives here, my uncles, my grandma, we all live kind of close to each other. Not that people live really far in the island, but you know what I'm saying. And it's one of those that, you go to high school and from kindergarten to high school, you pretty much seeing the same people. So we graduated, it was like 67 people in my graduating class.
67?
Yeah. I graduated a year early.
Okay.
Let me tell you that I was a smart kid at some point. Yep. Um. So it was normal. It was pretty normal. We play outside all the time, and it's very family oriented, but also very traditional. Like I don't know if you guys know Hispanics, but most of them, we're all Catholics. So you go to church, go to church. You spend Sundays at the grandma's house, and that's about it. And go to school.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
post high school.
Mm-hmm. Well, post high school, I went to college, and I played sports in college. And in my first semester of my second year, I joined the military.
What made you join the military?
Funny story. One of my friends was gonna join. I've never thought about the military. Like in the contrary, I was like, no, why would I? I had a full ride scholarship to college. It just nobody has talked to me about it. Went to a recruiting station. My friend is filling out his paperwork, and the recruiter was being slick, and he said, "Hey, just watch his basic training video." I did. And I was like, "Oh, I want to shoot things." Yes.
Right.
And boom, the week after that, I was in.
That's like the standard like recruiter tactic. You can probably elaborate on that. It was like when people want to join the military, you're like, "Ooh, look at this video." It's always like high speed stuff.
You know what? I've never.
You've never used that?
I've never used a video since I've been a recruiter. Never. It just most people I feel like join for the benefits and stuff like that. For college, that's like the big deal here. At that moment, he needed to use some other kind of route with me because he mentioned college. I was like, dude, I have college. It's free. I don't worry about it.
Yeah, but he talked you from going from a free ride, full ride.
Yeah.
To join the military.
Yep. He was just showing me a video that I was going to be working out. I'm very competitive.
Right.
He showed me a video of people working out, doing like things that nobody else would do.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard for people to do. And I was like, yes, that's what I want to do.
And you just bought it all in there, right?
Yep.
Just dove into it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, did he get he's probably got like a senior recruiter badge. Is that what they call it? Master?
Yes.
Super?
Master badge.
Yeah, super badge.
Yep. Yeah, he probably got a super one.
Super badge? For that stunt there?
Yes.
So where'd you come in as?
I was in E3.
Well, what was your MOS?
Oh, I come in as a 74 Delta. That's a chemical specialist.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely not what I thought that I was going to join as. I thought I was going to be blowing things up, shooting things. I thought it was going to be something infantry.
So he said that 74 Delta was blowing things up and shooting things.
100%.
And this dude, he has the super badge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just by the way, it's not from here, so.
But for the people who don't know, tell us what a chemical MOS really does, if you can recall it.
Well, it depends on the unit, but when I first joined, it was like a human car wash. That's how it felt like.
Just the decontamination stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it. That's really it right there. Yeah. They test the air and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're better parts of it, but that's what I saw since the beginning.
So basically the almost 180 from shooting and blowing things up.
Yes.
Where'd you go basic training at?
For Jackson in South Carolina.
How was that?
It was hot. So I went in July. And to me, it was fun because I was in good shape already. So it was just kind of fun. But funny thing, I didn't know any English when I went to basic training. Like I can read it and that's how I pass the test. But I cannot speak or have a fluent conversation. So you will have a drill sergeant screaming at me and I would just look at him straight on and just look. And he would be like, they would just walk away from me because I was like, I have no clue what you're saying. They would look at me and just do this. And I'm like, I can do that all day.
All day long. Yeah, yeah, push-ups all day long.
That's
Great.
I got strong.
That's such a. It just breaks the ice on the language thing.
Yep.
Now, was your recruiter bilingual, or how was that? I mean, did he recruit you in Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay, so he recruited you in
Mhm.
Spanish.
Yeah, the only thing you have to do in English is pretty much when you go to MEPS, the test.
Right. So clearly, you've learned your. Did you pick up the language while you was in South Carolina?
No.
That would not. Oh, thank goodness, because I would not want to say.
No.
Of all the places to learn the English language, at South Carolina. Yeah.
I feel like my English didn't got better till I moved here. And it's still kind of rough
So
sometimes.
it improved when you came to Arkansas.
Yes.
Wow. So Arkansas taught you the English language.
Yes. That's why now every time I
That's
go
gotta
anywhere else,
be-
it's like you have this Hispanic country accent. I'm like,
You do. That's
Yep.
remarkable.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's got to be like a Democrat Gazette type of thing right there. That's definitely somewhere on some kind of website. We got to post that. Make the state. It's the first in the state. So, Puerto Rico. So you went to South Carolina for basic training. Did you go back to Puerto Rico?
I went to AIT to Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri. Okay.
You know, to for Leonardwood. Then I went back to Puerto Rico. Went back to college.
So I am not good on distance, but I'm pretty sure that Puerto Rico is not close to Arkansas. So fill in the gaps between Puerto Rico and college and Arkansas and Southern accent. There's some holes there.
Yes. Well, let's see. So I went back home, and then I went back to college and all that. I got deployed. I volunteered for a deployment, and I went in 2009, and I went to Iraq.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, so I did, my whole year over there in Iraq.
As a 74 Delta?
Well, that was the MOS I went as, but I did not do anything like that. I did more what is called the Reoperation Center.
Yeah.
A lot of like route clearance and a lot of like, pretty much being a living GPS for people, or vice versa. I either am or I was trying to go out with somebody. That's
okay.
Different.
Shoot gun and blow
I was
things
trying,
up.
100%.
Trying to, huh? So in 09 you said?
Yes.
So it started to die down then.
Yes.
They was doing the fallback because I was there in 08. It was kind of like starting to get dead.
Yes. So
to some degree. I mean, a lot less than it was in 04, 05.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, starting to die
not want to be there.
Was they still doing the political handover then? Where like the Iraqi army was taking over things and stuff?
No, not in the section that I was in. Maybe there was a lot of.
Because where I was at, it was just it was a nightmare. Man, it was just like the Iraqi police didn't like each other. They would actually shoot at each other, the Iraqi army and that. And you're supposed to be handing over the the IDZ to them. So it's the green zone basically to them.
Okay.
It was just a nightmare.
I was more in Baghdad in the like Camp Victory, like.
Oh, so you was at Camp Victory?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I got to go to the green zone, but yeah.
Which one was Camp Victory?
Camp Victory. So if you were in the green zone,
if I'm coming in the green zone, right? So I was at Father Independence on the left. This is my second tour. The first tour I was actually off outside the green zone. I'm
trying to think exactly the location. I'm pretty sure it was like just a little south of that, but it was like the really big base, the fancy one.
Yeah. They had like a really good DFAC.
Yes.
Yeah, we used to sneak in there and get breakfast, I think.
They have some good one, but then they have the Air Force base.
That's what it was.
That was a really nice one where they have the airport. I'm talking.
No. Was you at BIOP then?
No.
Was you outside by Victory Base? Victory Base Complex.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So the first part of my 08 deployment, that little small SF compound.
Yes.
We were there. RPC. They call it the tower on the hill.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
The one that had the pool. Don't lie to me.
Man. Okay. So, yeah, it had a pool. Boy, that's just putting people on blast. No, hey. So, I'll say there. The first part of the deployment in 08, we were attached to, I guess, SOCOM East. I think that's what they were. It was just kind of like they needed a place to post there as a black site, so they kind of, they controlled entry but we did the presence patrols around Victory Base Complex. Then we would do like security. It was a cheese game. I mean, you worked out like twice a day, and there might have been a pool involved. But really, no one came on your file because you had to have clearance to get on there.
Yeah.
And we got kicked off of there. Long story short, we got kicked off there and moved to Fob Independence in the green zone. That's when we got moved there. But
Okay.
yeah, we were right there by Victory Base Complex and stuff, you know. But
Yeah.
we never went over there. It's at the shop or something because we had everything we needed where we was at.
Okay.
So
well,
yeah.
I liked it where I was. It's pretty big. Had everything I needed.
Yeah, it was huge there. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy huge.
My 24-hour gym.
Yeah, they do right. Midnight Chow.
Yes.
People don't understand.
How nice is that?
So yeah, so if people who get the people at home who don't know this, the Army invented this thing called Midnight Chow. Arguably the greatest thing at night when you can get like grilled cheese and bacon at midnight.
Hey, I love tuna sandwiches, and they have them.
You got the tuna there?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if
you're
it was
brave.
some of that
Oh my goodness,
fish
you're so
that
brave.
it was in those ponds.
yeah, yeah.
And call it tuna. It's okay.
Those ponds, man, they used to drown people in those. That's what the Republican Guard did.
So yeah, I
True
heard
story.
about that, and I know those were really aggressive fish. Every
Yeah,
time
they
you
were.
would throw something, they would just flop on top of each other.
Right. Yeah.
I would be scared to fall in there.
But they made great tuna sandwiches.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Yes, that's what matters. So we are back in. So you deployed.
Timeline, yes.
So we're deployed, right?
Yes, we're deployed. We came back.
Well,
Oh, we still deployed?
no, you came back.
Okay, I came back. Went to school for a little bit, but I kind of, at that time, I was already convinced that this is what I wanted to do all the time. This is
Army full time.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I was in engineer unit at the time when I came back, and they allowed me to be there. Like, they gave me a year orders, and I'm like, awesome. I did different stuff during that year. I learned a little bit about engineering and a lot of safety stuff, obviously, because I didn't have the MOS. Then I applied for my first AGR job.
Right.
Yes, I got picked up for my AGR job, and that's what I started. I kind of started my career to say it like that.
I tell people this, that the best way to get AGR is go ADOS, which is basically just orders at the unit. Because it gateways you into it because they know who you are. Because a lot of times AGR is, I want to say you got to know someone, but it helps if they know you and your work ethic and you know the job that you're applying for.
Yes.
So clearly that benefited you.
Well, when I did it, it's a little different in the sense of the bore because at that time I was in the reserve, so they don't really see you. They just apply, and I ended up getting asked if I wanted to move to Arkansas. So it was between Arkansas or Idaho. And I have to look it up on the map, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not really close.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, one it's up north, the other one's in the south. I'm not a person that can deal with the snow. So I was like, okay, I pick Arkansas. Let's go to Arkansas.
Right.
And that's how I found out that I was coming over here. And it was good.
Where were you stationed at?
Well, when I first got here, I was in Russellville, Arkansas. Then I came down to Little Rock and then back to Russellville.
Did you hear how she said Russellville? Yeah. It's like that all I hear now is like that southern Hispanic accent. That's awesome.
Well, and I did that, and there were some other decisions in life that I needed to do. I didn't want to move out of the state because I fell in love with Arkansas.
Right.
So I made the decision just to get out of the reserves, and I went to have a civilian job.
Okay. Now, getting out of the reserves, did you resign your AGR?
Yes.
So that's how you got out. Okay. And then, is that a pretty complex situation, or was it just pretty much paperwork and straightforward?
Paperwork. I mean, obviously, a few people trying to, to talk to you for you not to do that. And, hey, you're gonna lose all these things. And I was thinking I was getting married at the time, and I didn't want to take my family to Lennowood, to Missouri.
Right. So. Yeah, which is a good move.
Yeah.
So you got out of the reserves, and now you started your civilian world.
Yes.
Was that like a little bit of like, you didn't go in the Guard right away?
No.
So you had a little bit of a break, right?
I was out for 2 months before I came back in.
Wow, that's all you can make it?
Yes. I mean, I had a good job, and I'm super grateful, like, for one of my friends that he kind of like showed me in the right direction to get that civilian job.
Right.
But it was just not my thing. I miss the military life. It was just, not to say awful. They were good people. I was just could not do it.
You knew your calling was the military.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. So Got back in the guard.
Yes.
Where'd you get in at?
I get in actually Brady, Major Toman. He saw me at the gym. I was still working out because still have my ID.
Okay.
He's working out. He told me, he's like, and I worked with him before in some joint missions, and he told me, he's like, hey, you're out. Why you just don't do at least like the guard? And I'm like, well, I never even thought about that. And I asked him if I can change my MOS, and he said, I'm sure you can. Let me get you hooked up with somebody. And at the time, Sergeant Brady, was a guy. I joined swearing back in storefront in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I got back in, and that was November of 2016.
So what was your first unit?
RTI.
RTI was your first unit, right?
That's when we met.
Yeah, the Regional Training Institute. Okay. So for people who don't know, RTI, 233rd RTI is the actual schoolhouse that's on Camp Robinson. They teach infantry, both 11 Bravo and 11 Charlie, which is direct and indirect fire. And they teach 25 series.
25 Bravo.
OCS. I think walk is associated maybe with them a little bit. I don't know. And a lot of the instructor courses too. So I worked there as an instructor for a long time. That was my first AGR gig as an instructor. So I met you in 16. And you also came through one of my classes too.
Yes.
Right. I was your instructor. Yeah. So what was life like at RTI?
It was good. I mean, I really.
Because you came in as a 25 Bravo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you had to go through the conversion there.
I went through the MOS reclassification, got the job, got trained, went through your course to be able to be an instructor and stuff, which was, it was something just to have you there, just looking at me, teaching a class and be like, meh.
It's kind of weird when the greatest of all time is in there with you, isn't it?
I mean, yes, it's just hard to top the way you do things, It just...
it's hard playing against Michael Jordan all the time.
But I do enjoy teaching. It's really awesome, to be able to help people understand things they never thought that they would learn before.
Right. 25 series. What made you do that? Did you just because you qualified for it, or was it just?
No. I always wanted to do something related to computers. It was kind of like one of those people that want to shoot things, but I also wanted to do something that it will be I'm inclined to technology and computers and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something like that too.
Right. So you were at 25 series. Were you on ADOS and were you an instructor?
Yes.
Okay, so you was on orders doing being instructing. Okay. That's what I thought. They usually don't put people through the course unless they're going to be on some kind. Well, they do traditional, M-days, but usually it's they're on ADOS or full-time orders or something like that. Yeah. Did you like it there?
Yeah. 100%. I did. I like it and give me a really good experience. And, it was another, it was a good assignment to have and, that it looks good on me, obviously, for my career and stuff.
So what made you go R&R? Now I say this in the gateway it is, if people want to become the active guard reserve or AR full-time, Cal 32 AGR, recruiting and supply are like the two easiest ways to get into.
Well, I guess because it's, at least for R&R, it's a lot of people don't, you either have it or you kind of don't have it.
Right.
You either want to talk to people and you're are okay with learning the ways of being able to talk to people, then maybe take a little rejection. Because I feel like that was the hardest part for me, being able to, hey, just pop a conversation with anybody and not being afraid to share the good things that happen to you with other people, like sharing your guard story, how the military helped my life and how awesome I think my job is. So those kind of things are things that you need to be a recruiter. A lot of people are like too timid, they're kind of scared of talking to people. And I guess that's why they normally look for them so much, because a lot of people, they get there and they find out that, man, I can't do this. They can't get through themselves, like they can't face those fears. So, they always need more of us.
I mean, did you bully them into it?
You said what?
I mean, that bully mentality that you had earlier.
Yeah, I mean, if you seem to getting here in their brains, like you bullying them to them, it's like here.
Do you know how many people have said that? How I met them because I made a smart ass remark to them.
Yep.
Or made fun of them. It's always something to that nature. Like I've always.
You're good at that.
I am. That's what I do. Yeah, especially in the gym. Oh yeah, I'll punk you out quickly. Yeah.
Every time I saw you working out, you will have to say something every time if I was going to that gym. Every time.
You got to. You got to raise the bar for people. So
Mm-hmm.
you're a recruiter,
Mm-hmm.
RTI. You're also a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you embrace that mentality. How long you been fighting?
Ooh, well, I started training since I was 6. That's my
So
very
what
first.
got you into training at 6 years old?
Uh, hmm. It was one of my teachers in school. I saw her driving in the, just driving. And the next day I was super excited that I saw her in her car. And I asked her what she was doing. She told me I was taking my daughter to a Taekwondo class. And I was like, what is that? And she told me it was kind of karate and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. And I told my mama.
Mm-hmm.
She took me to take a class, and I never stopped doing different things. I started with Taekwondo, got my black belt. At the same time, I was doing like kickboxing, did a little bit of boxing, then got into jiu-jitsu, you know, Muay Thai, and now I want to do all of the things.
So now you have this wheelhouse of just various styles that you use, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing it since you were 6.
Yes.
And you're 31.
Yes.
So you've been doing this a long time. So you train at Westside MMA.
Yes.
Like it there?
I love it.
Love it. From everybody I talk to, it's just the most
Best
legit
gym in the state, if not more than the state, but
Right. Right. You've also fought professionally?
Yes.
Okay. That's done quite well as well.
Yeah. Been fighting professional since 2015. From 2015.
Do you think that helps you, that warrior mentality? Does that help you as a soldier? Do you think that helps take you to that next level?
Yes.
Do you
100%.
think it's missing in today's culture?
Yes.
Because I've had this same conversation with Mark Jones, who is also a phenomenal combative, and we've had several talking about how the warrior culture is missing from today's modern soldier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like at least for me, it's you need a lot of the same things in the sense of like you need to have a mentality that you're not gonna quit, when things get hard. That you need to push yourself, and you need to train even when nobody's pushing you to train. You have to have that self-starter willingness to do things, like nobody told me today to wake up at 6 so I can go for a 5-mile run and then go to work. And it's something that has to come from you, and know that the only way you're gonna get better is if you want to. That there's no way that and I feel like that's missing. It's missing in the sense of like knowing how to fight gives you discipline too. Like you can hurt somebody, and we joke around about fighting all the time.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm gonna choke you out and stuff like that. It's like, but it's not the same. I mean, I know I obviously not gonna go and just choke people because I know I can hurt somebody.
Right.
But I can get hurt too. But
right.
I feel like just that want to do more, that competitive spirit to want to like be a badass, to say it like that. You know, it's something that it's missing for a lot of soldiers, and I feel like like implementing combatives and stuff like that will help a whole lot, because we need something competitive. That sometimes that drives people to do better, just like that.
I think you said a lot of great things there, and I 100% agree. I think we are in the warrior culture. I think we're missing competitiveness, like you said. Because a lot of people see like the swagger that the alphas they always put out. I hear it all the time. About oh, just the way you present yourself and stuff. But they don't see the hard work, the 4 a.m. wake ups to get to the gym, the training, the 3 a days, 2 a days, the 5-mile runs that you do. Then you go hit the gym. You'll hit the bag for countless times. That's what separates the good soldiers from the great soldiers, right there. And from I think we're missing that. What do you think about? I've always wanted every soldier to get level 1 combatives. I think every soldier in the Army should have level 1 combatives, because you get hit. For people who've never been punched.
Yes.
Yeah. You remember your punch day?
Yes, I loved it.
Who'd you go through with?
So, well, I did it in Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah, they were kind of like running one of the classes and stuff like that, and then I got punched. So I had this big dude. I mean, he was big. He was the puncher. And this instructor, the one who was teaching it, he was kind of going a little gentle, the whole female thing, whatever. And he put me back in the line and he told us, hey, if you don't punch her, then you're gonna do this again. And so I want her to see her in the ground, or or you ain't being a puncher anymore, kind of thing. Right. So I go in there, got punched so hard. I mean, it was crazy. But at the same time, it just I was lucky because I've been punched plenty of times already. So
yes,
to
you know how to take it.
Exactly. So, but a lot of people, it's never been punched. I got to be a puncher in the next class because I went through the second level. Then I was a puncher for the first level, and it was great. Just to see that the people are like, "Oh my God, you just hit me in the face. You slapped me." Like, really? No, you never been punched?
Did you have people back up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I watched. So when I went through level 1, it was at the air base. Like, so SK and them put one on out there, and it was me and one other Army guy. Okay. Against like the Air Force security forces. And this is just facts. Their strongest security person you could break. Because everybody learns a cross collar choke.
Oh yeah.
So everybody goes for it. Like they try to choke you with your collar, and you're just like, I could like me and I could just break them. So it got to a point where you're just like, oh yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me. But I remember on punch day, I had like Sergeant Major Evans, huge guy, good friend of mine. We're family basically. I'm watching people like shift in line to make sure they draw me. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how it's gonna go. And like I remember watching this female, so airman, or whatever we call them, shot in there, and she got tagged and she backed up. Which, if people who've never done it, you don't back up.
Yeah.
And the whole goal of punch day is you're trying to achieve a clinch, like a position where you can flip them over or something. You're just trying to get to their belt loop, or grab their arms or something, something of that nature. She backed up and she took 3 more, and it looked like her hair just exploded. And so then I shot in there and got the clinch, but the guy who hit me had really short arms, and he could hit terminal velocity going up. Ooh. So when I got close to him, it was the ACU, so I had that zipper, and I have a picture of it where he hit me. I already had the clinch. He just threw that one in there because we were friends.
Yeah.
And it was about 75%, maybe 80%. And it cut me all the way down my face on that zipper.
Oh, man.
Went all the way up it, yeah. But the thing with fighting there was like they didn't trim their fingernails. They had watches on, so you're just getting carved up.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would just like choke them for like 30 seconds longer just to let them know that they need to trim their fingernails.
I mean, and actually when I did combatives was really when I got into jiu-jitsu. That's
really,
yes. I've like I did it here and there, but it was not like a like a real commitment to jiu-jitsu. I did combative in 2009, and then after that I continued training the rest of the year with the people that were there, because they had a bunch of guys that had done jiu-jitsu back in the States and stuff. So at the fight house we would go like almost every night, do some jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And when I came back, I found a gym, and that was the first thing that I did too. And then so I did some in Puerto Rico, but then I would say that I really officially started training jiu-jitsu, like belt jiu-jitsu, gi and no gi, was in West Side.
Right. What I love about combatives, and you and I talked about this just a little bit earlier, is like when young guys learn just like that basic, or even kind of MMA, any kind of jiu-jitsu, especially jiu-jitsu, they learn how to do like
the one thing.
It's usually a choke.
Yeah.
They learn that one choke. And I tell this story. I started telling it earlier. I know this soldier, and he learned how to do like a triangle choke. That's what his move was. And he always would put people, but he would start being like, "Hey, I'm going to fight you." I'm like, "No, you don't." Then he asked the next guy who was equally, who had equally much like has fought like, "No, you don't. You don't want to do this." But he would fight people smaller than him, so he has this bravo, this false sense of bravo, which is what I miss. I miss soldiers with this swagger,
Yeah.
And this is our deployment in 17, and he goes to one of my guys, and his name, my guy's name was Lackey, and Lackey was about 280, just a quiet country kid, worked out. Just all upper body. And he was a horse. Man, he was just a horse. And he's sitting there all quietly looking at like mudding videos, because that's what he does. And he's like, "We're going to fight at 1800. And Lackey's like, "Hey, I guess we're fighting 1800. Lackey's a prison guard. He didn't know that Lackey had an experience choking people and basic, joint manipulations and things of that nature.
Yeah.
It lasted. He got like tapped out like 8 times in like 3 minutes.
That's
It was like he just as soon as it sounded, we didn't make it through the first round. It was just annihilation. It was horrible. So, but what I love about it is the swagger people get from going through it. I think that's that competitive nature. Then the good ones keep going through, or they further it. You know what I'm saying like that. So what was your style? You have all these disciplines. What would your style be if you're a?
I mean, I'm definitely like a stand-up fighter.
Right.
But I love my ground game at the same time.
Right.
It just obviously like in an MMA fight, it's there's way more things that you need to take in consideration, when you're fighting. So yes, I love the ground and stuff like that, but I do love something about that striking, just standing up with that person in front of you. It's like, hey, let's see what you got. Like, bring it. So I do kind of like maybe feel like I should go to the ground more because I have plenty of skills.
Right.
But man, I love it. So I would say more like kickboxing, Muay Thai, kind of person.
You think you can knock Steve out?
I don't know. Maybe Steve, will you let me just maybe give you like a hard overhand or maybe a kick to the face, but you can't block.
We'll ask our viewers if they want. Leave a comment if you want Steve to get knocked out by Francis.
So can we just make a video about that? That would be great.
Yes, yes, we will absolutely make a video of it. You can, with or without headgear. You just want no head. You just want a straight hit. You want gloves?
I mean, whatever he wants. If he's just gonna let me hit him,
it's dealer's choice. Choice. Yeah, yeah.
There's not much more damage you can do to this anyway.
Yeah. So you started off Puerto Rico.
Yes.
I'm saying it like I am. Joined the military. Got out of the military. Got back in the military. Got AGR. Now we're going to ITC. Your infantry transition course. Why?
Man, to be honest, it's something that I wanted to do even before it was allowed for us to do it. You know? So it's something that I've always felt like I could do. And more like I love doing challenging things. We've been talking about this the whole time. Having that extra challenge and doing something like, now it's something like we don't have any females, like we don't have many females that have done it. So I want to be that, I want to be there and I want to, show and prove, and not that I have to prove anything to anybody, but prove to myself that I can do more, and I like finding a goal and just going after it. And this is one of my goals that I've always had, and I feel like I finally have the opportunity of pursuing that.
Do you think there's a lot of noise about you being female and going to the infantry? Because let me tell you where I'm coming from. Because I'm born and bred infantry, Fort Benning infantry. So there's a difference, and everybody knows this. Who is infantry from Fort Benning is that we were made there. So we view everybody who went through like a transition course as basically as a great value infantry. Now, and to be clear, you're going through 2 weeks what we went through 4 months and more than. I've always said this: you're not infantry till you get to your unit, and so you make it through unit level and deploy. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. Like, get to your unit and perform as infantry, then we're gonna start taking you seriously. And that's a lot of people's logic. But there's also a lot of people who are like, she's a female, she shouldn't be in the infantry.
100%. There's a lot of them. Yep. My
viewpoint is, if it's someone like you or someone who's competitive and brings honor to the infantry, which you clearly do, I'm good with it. Just perform. You know what I'm saying? Yep. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel like in just how you feel. I mean, I'm obviously not expecting to be anything to be given to me, because that would defeat the purpose of doing something that it's maybe viewed as harder than most of the jobs that we have. And in terms of having more females, and if it's, like if they should be there or not, I feel like in most jobs, obviously you're going to have people that perform really well.
Right.
And just like you have a lot of males, that I'm pretty sure you would say that they should not be in infantry.
And I agree, yeah. And I was about to caveat on that is that just because you went to Benning doesn't mean you're going to perform.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that, and what I mean by you went through a 2-week transition course. How you perform it at your unit, that's when you're really infantry. Because I know a lot of people who went through infantry training at Benning and just fizzled out their first time at the unit. Thousands of them. It doesn't make it. You have to perform at your unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like and hopefully we will get that. And I know a lot of people don't agree, but we will get that wave for females at some point, and it's gonna be slow. They maybe are gonna be able to perform, and gonna be able to make the standards gonna be all the same, and there's not nobody. I feel like no female that is coming into this will want to have any arrangements in the sense of being different or being treated any different. It's gonna be like I want to see like a lot of other MOSs. Once we have a lot of us that can do it, maybe that fizzle that hey, females in it's gonna be more like hey, it's not gonna be such a big deal. It's gonna be hey, this is the job that we wanted to do and we want to perform at this level, and this is what this is our calling kind of thing.
Right.
So that's how I see it. I mean, obviously, I know we're we're far from it right now. We still don't have enough people, but I feel like that's it's gonna get there. It just be maybe once it's more normalized that we have more people doing it, and we got more competitive. That I think it's gonna be great for everybody. We have great brains.
We do. Yeah, I think a lot of it is I think we're looking at it through the wrong lenses. And I am a traditional old school infantry. You know that.
Yeah, I know
exactly how I am. But I'm also know like I embrace the warrior culture. I've said in my other podcast, about serving the higher good. I think we so focus on like everybody, like, oh, she's first infantry, blah blah, and they'll do like I told you that you'll become the flavor of the week instead of viewing you like there's a good infantry soldier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
We can't say that we want everybody to be the same when we make such a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're making a big deal that you become infantry, then we're making a big deal about another guy becoming infantry. You know what I mean? So we got to be all on the same page. But I'm for it. And this is like with anybody. You have to perform. Male or female, you have to perform.
Yes. And I 100% agree with you.
Do you think that your training for MMA is getting you prepared for ITC?
100%.
What do you do?
Yes. Well, it depends on the day, like I do anything from like I've been running, I've been doing a little bit of rucking that's outside of the MMA gym, but like just doing rounds of jiu-jitsu will give you the best cardio you can imagine.
Right.
So I lift, I have my 4 days a week that I'm lifting. So I'm not really concerned in the sense of like, and I'm not saying this, let me not eat my words later, but like I don't think the physical part, it's not going to be that much of a big deal once I feel like I'm used to it. I'm used to working hard and, and we talked about this before, I think, I got told about going to like air assault, like 2 days prior, I was supposed to like do everything. And, in one day, the next day, never done a ruck march for 12 miles, got my equipment, next day I did it, and it's because if you stay training, these kind of training should not be, obviously you have to tune some things, tweak some things to be specific to that training to make sure you do whatever it's needed. But I think I can perform just well there because of all the MMA training and the hard work, like
right. It comes back consistent. It's an individual effort. We talk about the 4 a.m. because that's really how you get through your craft. Because like when you go through infantry basic training, thousands of us, millions of us have done it. There's nothing too terribly hard of it. It's the extra stuff that you do to be great. The 4 a.m. wake ups, the studying, the learning all your tactics, all things that go into it. And that's what I tell people. You're going to be successful. You got to put in the effort to do it. Male or female, put in the effort to be great.
Yep. And I like studying.
Yeah, and clearly, the school, you've seen, really great infantry soldiers at the school, at the, instructors and stuff at the RTI.
Yes.
So the bravo that goes with that, but there's tons of preparation and stuff. So I'm gonna give a shout out real quick to your spouse, Ashley.
Yeah.
Who teaches yoga.
She's amazing. Yes.
Amazing yoga instructor. And I tell people this, that people, so people are like, yoga, you do yoga? I do yoga because people, I was working out and I injured my back because, I lift a lot and I had like 15% mobility and I couldn't hardly move one day and she was in my unit and I said, hey, show me yoga. And within 20 minutes, I had 80% mobility. End of the day, I was about to 90. The next day, I was without pain. So big, she's amazing, big practitioner, and I owe her a big debt for showing me that and helping me with my mobility.
She has helped me a whole lot too.
That's good.
Yep, mobility. Just preventing injuries. Doing that little bit of yoga, that lot of the stretching. She's very knowledgeable in all that. Yep.
So we're just about out of time. Is there any parting words?
No. I'm very grateful that you invited me.
And we're glad you came on the show. It was really, really honored to have you here.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're one of everybody's favorite. Like everybody loves you.
Man, I hope that's true. Be lying to me. Just like.
All right, that concludes this episode. Yeah. Appreciate you having us on.
Thank you.
We got 5 minutes left. 3 minutes left. How do you think that went?
I think it was good. Did I sound too nervous?
You sounded perfect.
Okay.
What do you think?